So after winning the Champions League in Friday's episode at the third attempt, we now have a transfer special where we need to treat it as a normal transfer special. But we're also on the lookout for a job in either Argentina or Mexico or somewhere in that part of the world. I don't know if I'm still going to be Dortmund manager at the end of this. Welcome to the video, folks, and as you can see, we are displaying our new skin. It is the SAS24 skin. I will mention it in the description of this video as well, and if you would like this skin, go on to somewhere like FM Scout and just search for it. It's available on there. It is a great skin. This is not going to be a skin review video. I'm not going to go through every part of it and tell you all about it, but as we get to bits and pieces that stand out for me, I will mention it at the time. This is basically the homepage, and all these bits here you can play around with and select various different things that you want to have in the actual skin. So for example, you click here, you can put squad status in there if you want. For the time being, I've got available jobs because we are looking for a job as well as doing a transfer special. And I do have a bit of news on the job front. We have applied for the Toluca job. I think this is the job we've applied for anyway. Yeah, we have applied. If we go to the staff search screen, job centre, and Mexican First Division, Toluca, there you go. We applied for this one. I did look at Necaxa in the Mexican First Division, but I'm not able to apply for this job. I can declare interest in it, but I can't apply for it, which seems a bit weird to me. I think this might be the new manager, but if we have a look at history, I mean, what's his name? Jose Maria Padilla. He is the new manager. I mean, it doesn't say he's interim or anything like that, so I'm assuming he is the new manager. But either way, we have we've applied for the Toluca role. This is Toluca themselves. Los Diablos Rojos. No idea if I'm saying that correctly. I'm going to assume I'm not. The captain is 26 years old, 2-star reputation. The vice captain is a 1.5-star Uruguayan, 26 years old. Their key player is a 31-year-old who's 3.5 stars. Now, what I did notice was when I actually applied for the job and viewed the job advert, it said that their annual salary was 644,000 or something like that. And when I look at like this guy here who's on £25,000 a week, I'm assuming he's going to be basically their key player. And if we have a look at his profile, we can't see all of it because we've not like scouted him or anything. But for the sake of this skin as well, yellow is, I'd put that as the top ones. Then I think then it's green as the next one's, blue, and then red. So the reds we don't really want to see in key positions, put it that way. But for what I would assume is this level, he seems pretty decent, to be fair. So he probably is our key player. And just because I've applied for a job doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to take the job. What I have also done is I've gone to this list here and I've gone into the team detailed stats and the annual salary for the teams in this league just to see what we're in comparison to, because £650,000 per week seems small to me when I'm at Dortmund that's doing 3.8 million or whatever. But looking at this, we fall 7th in the highest paid salary club thing, you know what I mean. Tigres are top, Monterrey second, Tijuana are third, Chivas fourth, America fifth, Cruisers all sixth, and then us in 7th. In an ideal world, I would love a job with one of these top 5 clubs because that strikes me as where we would want to be. So Toluca is potentially outside of where I'd want us to be, but it's also not too far outside. So there is every possibility I might end up taking a job depending on how the job interview goes. Tijuana, by the way, they are 14th in the league and they're the 3rd highest for salary. So that strikes me that they're underachieving. So I'm not sure if they're going to end up having a job come available, maybe. It's certainly something worth keeping an eye out for anyway. I will have a look at what jobs are insecure and all that sort of stuff. Again, if we go to job security, and we'll do some filters on it. We don't want internationals. The nations, we'll keep Australia. We'll take out all the European ones for certain, because we're not going to be going to any of them, because I'm not going to be going to Japan. And let's just take out all of these. Oh no, we want South Africa in there, because we do still potentially have South Africa as a place to go to. Oh, we'll keep Uruguay in as well. So there you go. That's what's currently available or insecure and whatever else. And if we then scroll right to the very top, so these are the jobs that are available that we've applied for. And it tells you what their finances are on here as well. If we filter the job status, okay, we'll keep it that one. So we've got Ava in the Brazilian National Second Division, which is very insecure. I don't really want the Second Division. In the Argentine Premier Division, there's Tigre. That's not the Mexico. I'm going to get confused with these names. I know I am. If we go down further, there's Second Division. There's not a great deal in terms of insecure jobs at the moment. So there's a lot of Brazilian ones that are stable. And after that, we're kind of, I mean, where, I would love to know where, what's their name? Tigre, I think it is, wasn't it? Or Tijuana. So their manager's job is stable, even though they're 14th in the league and they're one of the highest salaried clubs. So yeah, that's what we're looking at the moment. Anyway, I'm not gonna come back to this every like 2-3 minutes sort of thing, but we'll come back whenever something happens. So like if we get a job interview for Toluca, we'll come back for that. Otherwise, it's about concentrating on the job in hand at Borussia Dortmund. And what we'll do now is we'll go over to the end of season review, which Past Me has already done. And then I'll join you back here just to talk you through some of the end of season email stuff. And then we'll start looking at players to bring in to sell on. Here is the Borussia Dortmund best 11, their all-time best 11. And players that we've brought in, Carnevale, Freitas and Levi are in the team. There's quite a few players that I've never even managed, like such as Kobel, Sule, Ryerson, Brandt, that, yeah, I've never even managed those. But yeah, that is our best 11 so far. We don't need to do the end of season preview. We've already done that. The supporter profile, the fans' influence on the board is 3-star moderate, as it always has been. Fair weather has gone up, while family, core and hardcore has gone down. Corporate and casual staying the same. We've gained 17.5 million social media followers. All lovely, wonderful stuff. The club vision and expectations are still disappointed. I'm not selling players for a profit. For next season, they want us to reach the latter stages of the Champions League and to challenge for the Bundesliga title. So we'll accept that. And then the end of season team meeting, if we have a look at that, we know what we need to say here. We go into the Bundesliga. We want to win the title next time round. Everyone's pleased. That's what I wanted to hear. We'll get out while the going's good, literally, and leave the team meeting. Squad dynamic. Oblé, Safu and Espinosa are our team leaders. Everyone's happy. I mean, why wouldn't they be? We've just won the domestic and European quadruple. So they're going on an end of season break. No idea where they're going to. Toluca job application has been received. Now, I'm not declaring interest in jobs. I'm just going to apply for, if one of them big clubs in Argentina or Mexico becomes available, then I might declare interest, because then that's me saying I want this job. This is just me saying I'm dipping my toes in the water, so to speak. Right, in terms of players coming in and going out, we're probably going to end up moving Ricard Fontes on. He is in, or going to be entering the last year of his contract. I think 25-30 million is what we're going to have to accept for him at this stage. So yeah, he's likely to be moving on. There could be other players going as well. And the players I'm looking at bringing in are going to be a younger profile that we can build up and potentially then sell on for profit. I'm kind of looking at the future, but hopefully that future will be for another manager to worry about and not me. Right, let's move forward. It might be, well, the next time I see you will probably be next time I get a job interview. Job interview with Toluca. Now, it's worth mentioning as well, Toluca's domestic season starts on the 6th of July. So that's about 3 weeks away from where we are at the moment. One of the reasons the board has decided to offer you an interview is because they feel you would be an acceptable fit for the club's somewhat scaled back vision for the future. That's a line that concerns me. The interview will give you the opportunity to discuss your suitability for the role and allow us to discover blah, 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 blah. Right, attend interview. Let's get into it. I'm not going to show you every job interview we go to if we end up having multiple job interviews, but I just thought we'd start with this one. So they're a continental 3.5-star reputation. They've obviously got no form. They haven't started the season yet. I'm glad you've given me the chance to talk to you. Right. I have some reservations regarding the fact that you have never managed in this country. Can you explain why that shouldn't be an issue? The fact that I have experience in various other countries should hopefully make up for the fact that I'm yet to work here. I think my stand in the game should quell any concern, to be honest. I'm going to go with that one. Because when you've won the European Champions League, 4 Bundesliga titles, 3, I think it was, J1 league titles with Tokyo, plus the Asian Champions League as well, I think my reputation within the game, I am I think a 4.5-star, maybe even 5-star reputation manager. Right, why do you seemingly want Raul Alonso, who's the president? Blimey. Why do you seemingly want to take a step backwards in your career and come here when you could arguably have the pick of many bigger teams? This is what concerns me, is that we're doing this in the wrong order, that we maybe should have left the European one till the end sort of thing. It's not a massive drop for me, and I have experience at this level already, remember. I want a new challenge, and this one isn't a dramatic change, yet provides me with what I'm looking for. It's only a small step down from the level I'm currently at. I think your club has absolutely massive potential, and I couldn't let this opportunity pass. I want to work here. I mean, that's quite a good one to go for, I think. We're talking such fine margins, it doesn't really seem to matter. We're not going to... You never go with dismiss. It's not a massive drop for me, and I have... That one, I'm going to go for the ask for a chance one. We parted company with our last manager much sooner than anybody would have anticipated. Can you offer assurances that we won't be in for a repeat of that? Not really, no. So I could promise and say, if I came here, I'd want to stay for a long time. I mean, I don't. I want to stay for as long as it takes me to win the Champions League in your continent. And it might not even be with you. It could be with somebody else if they come along. But I have a proven track record for spending considerable time in a job. 3 to 4 years. Is that a considerable time for a job? Let me know in the comments. I've never once in my career departed after only a brief spell at the club. That speaks volumes. There is no tomorrow. Everyone has to win today, and that's my motto. I'm actually quite tempted to go for that one. I don't want to jeopardise the interview. You know what I mean? I don't mind being honest, because I think I'm at that stage in my career where I can be honest. I've never once in my career departed. I think I'm going to go for that one. How would you feel about working with our current director of football, Santiago San Roman? I don't know him. I'm more than happy to work with him. I like my directors of football. As part of the recruitment process, we are willing to allow you to request changes to our current backroom staff, as well as the chance to request any staff members you would like to bring with you from your current club. What size budget would you be looking for to make these changes? I don't wish to propose any changes, which I never do. This is their vision for the future, their long-term vision. Develop players using the club's youth system. Well, I hope you've got a good youth system. Work within the wage budget, grow the club's reputation. They're all basics, standard stuff. Maximum 1-year contracts for players over the age of 33. Oh, Raul, don't worry. We won't be signing players over the age of 33, mate. Reach the latter stages of the NACC. That's a North American Champions Cup. Okay, so they're obviously in the Champions Cup. That's now piqued my interest a little bit. Reach the latter stage of it as well. They obviously think they're good enough to get to like the quarterfinals. So this could be our team. Reach the Mexican First Division opening stage first preliminary round. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Raul, I don't know what any of that means. You've just spoken Mexican to me there, and I don't speak Mexican just yet. Then they want us to continue to be competitive, blah, 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 blah. They've got absolutely no ambitions on winning the First Division opening stage. I don't know if you can win the opening stage. I presume you win the closing stage, but I'll be happy working with these proposals, yeah. We have no expectations for you to fulfil for the current season. Expectations and budgets will be set in the build-up to next season if you are hired. Fine. Don't really see the point in mentioning it if you're going to discuss it, but anyway. Do you have anything to request for us to consider should we decide to hire you? Can you build me a new stadium, please? Is there anything on here actually... I mean, it says here, I'd like the youth coaching programme to be improved if I got a job. I don't know what the youth coaching programme's like, so how do I... It might not be possible to improve it. This all seems a bit... I mean, Who's going to go into a job and when they say, is there anything you'd like us to consider? Yeah, I want a new stadium. I mean, that's the sort of thing you do when you've been there a little while. If I'd like the board to set up a link with a parent club, I'd like the club's youth recruitment network to be improved if I got the job. I mean, again, these are all things that I just don't think you would actually do. Right, no, I'm good, thanks. That concludes the interview. Thank you very much for an enlightening discussion. We'll be in touch. Now, personally, I think I should get that job. Right, we have had offers for Aladdin Saheen. We've negotiated the offer with Manchester City. They were wanting to give us about 70 million for him. I've bumped it up to around 110 to 120 million with add-ons and upfronts and things like that. Same with Fontas. They wanted us to accept something like this is Monaco, wanted us to accept an £18 million offer. We've bumped it up to between 25 and 30, I think about 27 million. Both of those will probably pull out, but that's what we've done so far. Not really anything else to bring you so far. We've had a staff member go, but you don't really care about that. So yeah, I'll see you when we've got a decision from Toluca. Okay, so what I do is every Monday in game, and it's now Monday the 18th of June, I come to the job centre and have a look at available jobs. And as you can see, there's nothing else available at the moment other than the Toluca job that we're applying for. But what I have noticed is we are the favourite for the job, 1-3 on for the Toluca job in the Mexican First Division. There is every possibility that we could be going to Mexico. In terms of giving us transfer updates, we have accepted offers for Ricard Fontas. So this one here from PSG was withdrawn. Then we had AS Monaco, as you know, came in. I negotiated with them. They accepted my negotiation of £17.5 million up front, 5 million in instalments and 5 million after 20 games, I think it is, taking it up to a total of 27.5 million. Burnley came in with a smaller offer than the Monaco one. But so I told them they either match the Monaco one or get lost. They've matched it. And Bournemouth have just come in as well with a straight up £27.5 million offer for him. So it looks like we're going to be selling Ricard Fontas one way or another. One Rios, we had an offer from Manchester City for £34.5 million up front, rising to an eventual 63 million. When we look at his transfer valuation, he's between 67 and 74 million pound is his guide. So they've not even matched the lower end of that. So I just told them to get lost as well. I will expect him to come back to me at some point and say, why didn't you accept it? All this sort of stuff. But the way I look at it is with Juan Rios, for example, when we bought him for £65 million. As a minimum, we have to make a profit on this boy. So sorry, but that does not cut it. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about Toluca, I've just skipped right past it. It does look like we are going to be heading towards Mexico. They are 18th, but like I say, that's because the season hasn't started yet. We'll get to see the season previews and all that sort of stuff when we get to the division. I don't know if we can actually see the season preview. Oh, there you go. We can see it now. So Toluca are expected to finish 8th, 25-1. It doesn't look, I mean, it looks like there's a sale here. They've signed Ernesto Ayala for £400,000. I mean, that don't look particularly good, does it? He's a centre. I mean, he is 6'4" as a centre back, so that could potentially be quite decent. He's heading 8 to 14. So I mean, if it gets up towards 14, that'll probably be pretty decent for this kind of division. And before anyone says it, we're probably not going to be taking anyone from Dortmund with us. So there's no point even looking at that. Right, let's skip forward a bit further. I'll let you know when we've got a reply from Toluca. We've been unsuccessful. I'm actually stunned. When I saw this, my literal reaction was just, what? We were the favourites for the job. I thought we would have got this job. I mean, let's just have a look at my profile for a moment. These are my attributes. A very strong 5-star reputation. Fairly loyal is my personality. I am stunned. I don't mind admitting. I am absolutely... You look at like everything we've won as well. I mean, wow. Right, let's have a look at the guy that they've given the job to. And, I mean, he's 3.5-star reputation. He's ugly as well. I mean, I know I'm not oil painting, but 60 years old. Well, to be fair, I don't know how old I am in this game. I'm probably not far off that, to be fair. But he's done a job touring like Necaxa. So he was the most recent Necaxa manager, and Necaxa sacked him because he was underperforming, and they've gone with Toluca. Whereas you've got me, that's just won the UEFA Champions League, and my fourth consecutive Bundesliga. I would have played that formation as well. I am shocked at that. Right. Okay. So we carry on building towards our new season, which, by the way, our schedule, this is not a particularly nice schedule. We start the season off with, we have Bayer Leverkusen and Villarreal in the two Super Cups, but then we've got Leipzig at home, Bayer Leverkusen away, Freiburg at home. Then we've got a nicer tie against Hansa Rostock and Werder Bremen. Then we've got VfB Stuttgart. So we've got some really tough fixtures. Our first three league fixtures are very, very tough indeed. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see how we get on. We need to start looking at organising pre-season friendlies and all that. It usually kicks in around the 1st of July. Nobody has come or gone in terms of transfers at the moment. So I'll bring you up to speed on that more as I know about it. I'll continue to look at the job centre every Monday. If we have a look at it now, there's literally nothing there of any interest to us. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so it's Monday again, and we're having a look. There's a couple of Brazilian First Division roles going. So we've got Core and we've got BTF. I mean, I don't know what their full names are. I know they're shortened because they haven't got the license. I think this might be Corinthians. No idea who this is. But if we look at the Brazilian First Division, I mean, they are the top division in South America. So in terms of going to them over Argentina, they are technically better than Argentina. They are midway through the season. Man, is what, 20? So they play 38 games. They're currently Core are sitting in 16th, level on points with, I presume that's Vasco da Gama, in that are by the relegation zone. Only having played 12 games. A lot of other teams have played 13, 14, even 15. And BTF are, I mean, they're rock bottom. So I don't think BTF, if that is Corinthians, then they should be a good reputation side. So if we have a look at the team detailed, the salary per annum, there they are. So Corinthians are fourth. So they're the fourth best paying clubs in the Brazilian National First Division, which tells me they should be doing a lot better than 16th. They really should. And if we look at BTF, I'm assuming they're going to be near the bottom. Yeah, they are rock bottom. They pay by far the least. If we then have a look at the season preview, you see what that says for it. So the season preview has Core finishing fourth and BTF, yeah, are expected to finish bottom. So, yeah, Corinthians, I'm going to go with those for the time being. Let's see if it tells us anything on here. I will, if we do end up going there, I will have a look on Google to see if Core is indeed Corinthians, which I presume it is going to be. In terms of continent, they are in the Copa Sudamericana at the moment. So what's their share? I mean, they're probably out of that by now. But, oh no, it starts here. So we would start that on the 19th. Hang on a minute. No, that's already through the season. So they've already done Group C and they finished top of the group, to be fair. They've qualified for the next round. So if this is anything like the Asian Champions League, I mean, this league goes on for a long time. It starts in January, like it did in Tokyo. Sao Paulo State, no idea what that is. I presume that's the Brazilian Sao Paulo State Championship. I presume that's a club competition. I'll be honest, I have no idea. Their leagues, so they do that. I mean, that goes on for a while. So they do that through January, February and March. And by the looks of it, they got knocked out by ITU in the semi-final. Then you have the Brazilian Cup third round. First and second leg. They won both of those. So they got through that competition to the fourth round at least. Then the Copa Sudamericana, I mean, their fixtures are all over the place. Copa Sudamericana started in April, the 19th of April, with the first league game on the 24th of April. They played a fourth round game here Did they win that on penalties against SPO? No, SPO won that on penalties. Okay. So they then got on a really terrible run in the league, and this is where they're up to at the moment. So looking at it, we've still got all of this to play up to the 2nd of December. So we've got a lot of time to try and turn it around and get a respectable finish in the league. So do you know what? I think, is the job actually available for me to go for to begin with? So let's have a look at the job. We can view the job advert. We can apply. So £1.1 million wage bill. I mean, that's already looking better than what we were getting for, what's it called, for Toluca. State-of-the-art training facilities. Numero who'll be able to guide the team to qualify for the Copa Sudamericana. I mean, you're open for a lot. You just play the relegation zone. Play possession football. Play high-tempo pressing football. Make the most of set piece. I mean, that is me. There you go. We've applied for the job at what I presume is going to be Corinthians. I mean, their run of form recently is absolutely terrible. I assume Danilo is their interim manager at the moment. And their key player, João Gabriel, 27 years old. Oh, no, that's a captain. Sorry. Vice captain is Tomas Suslov, who's 33-year-old Slovakian. Key player is a 3-star Argentinian. And their hot prospect is a 1-star Brazilian called Douglas. Well, Dougie, you might be what we are putting all our hopes on if we end up coming to Corinthians. I'll let you know if and when we get an interview. Okay, this is something I thought might have been an actual issue, is the fact that our job application for Corinthians has been unsuccessful. And it says here, you may be able to persuade your current board to reduce their compensation demands in order for you to be considered for the role. I think I'm going to have to resign. So the core board have informed you that your application to fill the vacant manager's role cannot be taken further, as the core board have been unable to reach a compensation agreement with your current employers. I mean, that could have been a reason why I didn't get the Toluca job. It may have, ultimately, it may have just been too much. They are prepared to put the process on hold for a short period of time should you be able to find a different manner of departing. I mean, do I read into that they're saying, quit your job and we'll give you a job? A different manner of departing, but will eventually be forced to consider their options otherwise. Right, let's request the board to reduce compensation demands. Welcome, what would you like to discuss today? If I must stay, can we at least agree on some improvements to the club? I would like to be allowed to join Core as their manager, but they can't afford the compensation fee. Please accept a lower fee so that I may leave. We'll go with that one. We'd rather you just concentrate on finishing the job you started here. Oh, I think I'm leaving. If you won't let me leave, may I at least... No, I don't want to do that. I can't pretend that I'm not disappointed, but I do understand. If you won't let me leave, I'll have no choice but to resign and the club will get no compensation at all. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm about to make myself unemployed. I mean, this is the Unemployed Journeyman, so it kind of fits, doesn't it? Yeah, we're going to go with that and we're going to threaten them. We're reluctant to see you go, but it's clear you want to leave. If Court offer you a job, we won't stand in your way. Wow, okay. We believe it's important to stay on good terms with you, so hopefully we can continue to work together to build a positive future for this club. Do you know what? Fair play, Sports Interactive, because that makes sense. That really does. You know, with what I've achieved here, I don't think it's unreasonable they allow me to leave. Wonderful stuff. Right. So now the application has been received. I mean, if they end up turning me down now, or, you know, I mean, I've not even had the interview yet, but if they end up turning me down, I'm going to be most annoyed. But yeah, let's see. By the way, nobody's left or come in yet. All we've really done is put in some pre-season friendlies. We've got a Haaland testimonial against Manchester City. That, to be fair, I'm going to cancel that because I have no interest in playing Man City in a friendly. So yeah, we've got our pre-season friendlies set in. I suppose really I should start to look at some players because we have sold Ricard Fontas, of course. I think I told you about that. Let's have a look at, that's the overall balance is 17.7 million. We've got 70 million in the transfer budget. I've not looked at spending any of it yet, but yeah, Fontas has gone to Monaco for 22.5 million, rising to 27.5 million. If we look at his history, he joined us for 24.5 million pounds. So it's about even, really. But yeah, I'll let you know when there's more details to know about job situations or player transfers. Here we are, core offer job interview. One of the reasons the board have decided to offer you an interview is because they feel you would be a good fit for the club's somewhat scaled back vision for the future. Again, it concerns me. This is mainly as a result of your notable experience of winning league titles. Finally, someone has noticed that. The interview will give you the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into it. I will show you this one. Right, I'm glad you gave me the chance. So how would you overcome the relatively big obstacle of not speaking the language? I don't think it's something to worry about. I can learn the language in time. It's a relatively easy language to learn and I should be able to pick up bits and pieces pretty quickly. I'm not worried. Football transcends language and there won't be any communication problems. We'll go with that one. I have some reservations regarding the fact that you have never managed it. Can you explain why this shouldn't be an issue? The fact that I've experienced in various other countries should hopefully make up for the fact that I'm yet to work here. I'm going to stick with my standing in the game. I mean, that could be what cost me the last interview. Who knows? But I'm going to stick with it. Why do you seemingly want to take a step backwards in your career and come here when you could arguably have the pick of many bigger teams? We're talking, it's another president, Ricardo de Sousa Santos. Yeah, it's not a massive drop for me and I have experience at this level already, remember. I think I'm going to go for that one. We have experience at that level. Tokyo's probably, to be fair, they're 4 stars. They're very good. The club would be looking for a candidate capable of performing to competition expectations, something our last manager did not do. Are you confident of handling that better than your predecessor? Well, of course I am. Again, my record speaks for itself. I'm confident of achieving every target set for me if I get the job. I'm going to go with that one. We need a manager who can work with limited resources. Oh, is that you? I'll do the right thing with the club's money. I guess I'm in for a challenge then. I'm looking forward to it. If we all just focus on playing football, everything else, we'll go with I'll do the right thing with the club's money. Would you be comfortable working with Fabinho, our director of football? Not sure who that Fabinho is, but I'm more than happy to work with him yet. We understand the importance of having the right backroom team in place, blah, 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 blah. New club are willing to allow you to request any change of backroom stuff. Yeah, that's all the same sort of thing. I don't wish to propose any changes. A long-term vision, strive to make progress on and off the pitch. I never really know how I do the stuff off the pitch, but yeah, okay. Work within wage budget, grow the club's reputation. That's in every one of these. End of the current season. Bear in mind, we're halfway through and we're on the verge of relegation. Challenge for the Copa Sudamericana. Qualify for the Copa Sudamericana. Be competitive in the Brazilian Cup. So qualify for the Copa Sudamericana is required. That's not just preferred or favoured, that is actually required. Then the end of next season, work towards challenging for the First Division title. So at least they do have ambitions for actually being title contenders, which is what I want to see. Challenge for the First Division title, maintain a First Division title challenge, basically. Yep, fine. If hired, we would expect you to position the team to challenge for the Copa Sudamericana qualification. Okay, so that sounds slightly different. We would expect you to position the team to challenge. So that doesn't say to challenge. Is that fair, or do you think you could do even better? We'll agree. We're not going to say we're going to do it. A transfer budget of 2.75 million. Oh, we're rich. Is on offer should you get the job. What do you think of the proposed? I mean, to be fair, give me 25 million, but that's probably unrealistic in Brazil. I think the proposed transfer budget is realistic and will give me the funds needed to bring the squad up to scratch if hired. What do you think of the proposed wage budget? I mean, that's almost double what it would have been at Toluca, to be fair. Yeah, I'm happy to work with that. Do you have anything to request for us to consider should we hire you? Nope. That concludes the interview. Thank you very much, and we shall leave. In the meantime, Manchester City have put in an offer for Juan Rios, £43 million up front, eventually comes up to around 78 million after he's made 20 league appearances. Sorry, I've rejected it. I'm going to reject it. 43 million up front, total of 62 million. I mean, again, when you look at what we've bought him for, 65 million, it doesn't even scratch that. I'm not making a loss on a player that's been absolutely fantastic for us. We have a news item. Borussia Dortmund's 55-year-old English manager, oh my word, is believed to have attended an interview for the vacant Corinthians job. I mean, I look good for 55, I think. Oh, and I should do, because I'm not 55. Few bookmakers considered Hills as anything other than outsider for the core job before the news of his interview broke. Hills' opportunity to speak to Core face-to-face is not believed to have had a significant impact on the situation. with Core believed to have been increasingly impressed with his credentials as the process has developed. Spokesman for Core shed little light on the subject, refusing to comment on the job search at the present time. And it just goes on to what I've done. Okay, right. I don't usually do these things, but let's see what this guy's got to say for himself. Reports suggest that you attended an interview for the vacant Core job. Do you have any comments to make at this time? No, I can't say it's news to me. I couldn't care less about that. Not for the time. No, I have to admit being intrigued by the prospect of working there and felt obligated to attend an interview as requested. I'm just none of these. I'm just going to not bother going to that. Decline. I was hoping I was going to be able to, as in positives terms, say, yeah, I've been for an interview and I'm interested in the job. I mean, I know I could declare interest, but let's have a look over here. And Core, again, I am the leading candidate for the role. BTF we're not going to go to. Leon. Who are Leon in the Mexican First Division? Because I'll be honest, I do want Mexico because this league is absolutely balmy. Right, if we have a look at the season preview, I mean, Leon are expected to finish 11th. They are in the Champions League, though. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll wait and see what happens with this Brazilian job. And if that comes up, because if that comes up, we can tick off the South American Champions League, the Copa Libertadores, and then we still have the option of going to Mexico once we finished with that. Mexico, I've got to say, I want a job in Mexico in this Unemployed Journeyman series because the league seems mental. The Brazilian First Division, I'm assuming it's just the first division, it's just a straight league, yeah. So it's just a straight league. In terms of, if we go back and have a look at Core, have a look at their schedule. We had a look at it earlier on. We do come in partway through the season. On the 27th of June, a couple of days ago, they just lost 3-0 to CTB. Can we actually look at that? So, I mean, the goalkeeper had a 5.6. They had a defender sent off. It looks like we're going to have a challenge at this club. I've got to say, Mozart. I mean, I like my music. I don't usually listen to Mozart, I have to admit, but I do like my music. They play a 4-3-3, which is good to know because it shouldn't be too much of a change. In terms of possession, they only had 31% of possession in that game. If we have a look at the table, can we have a look at the table? Where is the table? Let's have a look at the table to see how... Is it not going to show me the table? Okay, we'll just go back and look at the table. So CTB, I mean, to be fair, they're not much. They're actually in the relegation zone now. Right, if you're going to employ me, you need to get your butts in gear because as it stands at the moment, we've got 25 games to get out of here. I mean, what is all this about? Let's have a look at the rules a minute because if finishing 13th gets us in the Copa Sudamericana, then that is absolutely possible. So the Copa Libertadores is for the top 4. Then potentially top 5 depend on the winner of the Brazilian Cup. So I presume the winner of the Brazilian Cup gets a group stage place. But if the winner of the Brazilian Cup is in the top 4, then it will go to the team in 5th. 6th and 7th gets you the second qualifying round in the Copa Libertadores. So really, if we finish top 7, this one depends again on the winner of the Brazilian Cup. But if we finish in the top 7, we could potentially get a place in the Copa Libertadores. And then the group stage for the Copa Sudamericana goes for the teams from 8th to 12th, with potentially the team in 13th. Again, it's going to depend on the winner of the Brazilian Cup. So you might as well say 12th, because you'd like to think the winner of the Brazilian Cup is going to be in the top 12 somewhere. But yeah, okay. I'm feeling quite good about Brazil now. I'll come back to you when we know more information. At this point, I have no idea how long this video is going to be. It could end up being over an hour. But I've just noticed a new job. It's my typical Monday check on the job centre. And Flamingo, I think this is, has a vacant manager job. They are currently 14th in the league, so they're in a slightly better position than Corinthians. However, if we look at them, I had a look at their schedule to see, Actually, no, I didn't. I had a look at the season preview in the league to see where they're expected to finish. And when we look at the season preview, they're expected to finish second. So they're obviously an incredible team, 4-1. I mean, they're obviously much better than most teams in this league. And I kind of looked at this and thought, okay, they're in the Copa Libertadores. So let's have a look at their schedule. And when you look at their schedule, they've played the group stage and they were top of the group stage. 6 wins from 6 games, despite their poor league form. They're not far away from starting the second round, first leg of the Copa Libertadores. In theory, we could join them, hopefully before the 25th of July, which could be a bit of a stretch because they take forever in this game to actually appoint a manager. But in theory, we could end up joining Flamengo and winning the Copa Libertadores in half a season. And I quite like the sound of that. I would probably stick around for another 2 or 3 more years after that to see if we can win it again off our own back kind of thing. But I actually think I'm going to apply for the job with Flamengo if I can. Am I able to apply for the job? I can view the job advert. So develop players using the club's youth system, sign players under the age of 23 for the first team, play attacking football, play possession football, play high tempo, foot pressing football, make the most of set pieces, got excellent training facilities, bigger wage bill than Corinthians. Their 4-star reputation, same as them. I've just applied for the job. So yeah, let's see if they've received my application. It'll be interesting to see whether they ask me to speak to the board about the compensation fee or whether that will just automatically happen now that Dortmund know that I want to leave. So yeah, I'll see you in a second or two to find out whether we're going to get the job at Corinthians or whether we get an interview at Flamengo. No idea what's going to happen from this point. Well, Core have approached me. They're prepared to offer me the job. £29,500 a week is what I'll be earning. I think I'm on 40,000 at the moment. So it's not a massive drop. £2.8 million transfer budget for £1.2 million a week wage budget. I'm very tempted. What I think I'm going to do though is I think I'm going to hit the delay button down here and see what happens with Fluminense, or is it Flamengo? Flamengo, I think it is, isn't it? So yeah, we're going to delay the decision for 1 week. They agree to the delay. The club hope will return with a positive response and will be in touch next week. We'll see how we get on with the other offer from Fluminense. And yeah, was it Flamengo? I can't remember. Is it? I mean, that's probably not a good look, is it? Flamengo. There you go. Flamengo. We're not the favourites for that job, though. Sebastian Acosta is a favourite for that job. So we'll see what happens with that one. And potentially, we know we have got an offer from Corinthians. So it's safe to say we're going to be on the move. Okay, I wasn't going to show you this interview because it's just another interview, but Flamengo have come in and offered us an interview. I'm partway through it at the moment. This has stood out for me though. Maintain the club's status as the most reputable team in Brazil. Maintain the club's status as the most reputable team in South America. So if there's any doubt as to whether Flamengo are better than Corinthians or more reputable than Corinthians, I think that eliminates any doubt whatsoever. So we're just going to finish this interview at £50 million transfer budget. Oh my word. I mean, forget anything else that's happened in this interview. Yeah, that's realistic. Wage budget of 50.79 million. Happy to work with that. No, thank you very much. That is the end of the meeting. Wow. I think you can get away with delaying a club twice. So if Corinthians come in and offer me the job again, I'm going to see if I can delay it for a second occasion while we wait for Flamengo to get their backsides in gear and hopefully offer me the job. If we have a look at the job centre, am I the favourite? I'm not. I wasn't the favourite before. I'm not the favourite now. If we just skip forward a day and just see whether I'm now implemented as the favourite because I want that job. I can't lie. I do want that job. However, if Corinthians come back again, like the second time, like I say, I'll delay that one. If they come in a third time, so I'm still not the favourite, that's a concern. Right, it's hotting up. It's getting exciting. Let's see what happens next. Right, here we are then. And Core have come back a week later as promised. The fact that the wage budgets and the transfer budgets are so different between these and Flamingo. Right, let's see if we can do another delay. Hopefully this doesn't backfire on me and hopefully they agree to it. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, they've agreed to the delay. Okay, right. I think that is going to be the last time we're going to be able to delay it. So if Flamingo have not come in by Tuesday the 17th of July, we're going to have to decide whether we reject this and hope that we get the Flamingo job, or we just accept Corinthians. Oh, let me know what you would do if you was in that position in the comments. Let me know. I'm quite intrigued to see what you would do in my position. Okay, let's go. Well, Manchester City have come in for an offer for Aladdin Sahin. It's a negotiated one that they came in with an offer. We then negotiated this to take the potential value up to 113 million. 62 million up front, 26.5 million in two 12-monthly instalments, and 24 million after he's played 20 games. 89 million rising to 113 million. If we have a look at Aladdin Sahin, the fact that it's going to be 80 odd million, we signed him for 69 million. He's had 3 very, very good seasons for us, really. And you know what? I'm accepting the offer on behalf of Dortmund as I'm about to leave for Flamingo. But yeah, I've accepted that offer. They wanted a profit on players. They've got a profit on players. Goodbye, Dortmund. By the way, I'm still only favoured personnel. I mean, I am starting to think that this is a glitch in the game at this point. The fact, let me know in your says, have you ever made it to legends or icons? Because the fact that I'm only favoured personnel when I've won 4 Bundesliga titles and a Champions League, I just think I deserve to be better than Juan Rios and Brian Espinosa and Carnevale and Oberle and Kamiri. I mean, Kamiri, please. Having me on the same level as him. Not having it. Right. As I say, Flamingo have come in for an offer. Transfer budget of 51 million. Wage budget higher than Corinthians as well. We are going to be going to Flamingo, and that will be in tomorrow's episode. Join me for that one, for a brand new adventure in the Unemployed Journeyman as we aim to win the Copa Libertadores with Flamingo.